Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yeah, go. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my
Let's fight.
I don't wanna get saved. I'm doing shit my way. The highway and on the driveway is a mess, man. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want.
Ready, bro. Firing all cylinders. Reaction time there, speed there. Spoke. That's what got him ready. Spoke.
Yeah. Good. Good. Stay in your rhythm, champ. Stay in your rhythm. Your rhythm, your time, your fight. Let's go.
He's trying hard. Good try. His effort.
You study how Shakur Stevenson is preparing for Teofimo Lopez. It's clear the camp is designed to manage and neutralize the early chaos, focusing on control and survival first, not waiting to shine once the fight settles.
How many rounds you do today? 17, right?
Teofimo is most dangerous early in fights, so shockers, conditioning targets immediate pressure. Training focuses on fast-paced rounds, short rest periods, and drills that demand quick distance recovery after being rushed. The aim is to normalize pressure, ensuring winning tense early rounds feels no different than controlling the fight later.
I got you on my time.
A major focus of camp is correcting the minor defensive lapses seen in recent fights, because against Teofimo, one clean shot can change everything. Every jab and check hook is now paired with an immediate step-off or angle shift, no standing still, no admiring punches, and no giving Teofimo confidence to force his way inside.
Get out of there, get out of there, get out of there. There we go, there we go. Left 15, all the way down.
I feel great. Sprints kind of be getting me right, get my conditioning right. Sometimes in a fight could turn into a sprint. Because it's like, to start the pace fast as hell and then they can't keep up the pace. But the sprints will kind of get you in shape to where once you break down, sometimes you get a second win. Then you get another win. Then you get another win after that. So I did the sprints a lot in a Jamel Herring fight. That's why you seen me fight at a fast pace. And then once I slowed down, I picked it back up and I had all the energy in the world to do it. So we locked in.
Shakur's footwork isn't about circling endlessly as precise control steps that keep Teofimo within range but off balance. The camp focuses on studying Teofimo's patterns when he lunges, how he commits to single shots, and his pauses. By mid-fight, those attacks become predictable rather than threatening. Goal isn't to overpower Teofimo, but to make him miss. Counter every punch and chip away at his confidence. Shakur's training is about forcing Teofimo to work harder for less, turning the fight into a controlled, frustrating battle that favors Shakur.
Yeah, let's do the rest centered up, I think. Oh, centered up? Okay, yes. So he's looking right in the camera? Yeah, because he's talking.
Yeah, I'll land a punch on him. For sure.
Do you believe your opponent underestimates you?
I think my opponent is underestimating me because he said that I'm a slow one. He think that I'm too small.
This is where the calm logic of Shakur Stevenson's training collides with all the noise. Once a camp is built to survive chaos, without panic, the debates stop being theoretical. Listening to Sean Porter and others go back and forth, the real argument shows through the jokes we claim to want savagery, yet criticize fighters who survive too well.
Extremely smart. Okay. I can guarantee you this is what Shakur is going to do. Shakur is going to come out middle of the ring, work that jab, work that pawn that he does, all that, the feints. He's going to try to touch him with the jab, but he's going to be waiting on his moments to snap with that right hand, waiting on his moments to counter, waiting on his moments. And when they're not there, he's just going to slide off, go for that little walk.
Porter's talk about restart space and resets isn't boredom, it's strategy. That's how you drain Teofimo Lopez's oxygen, disrupting the rhythm. He needs to feel dangerous and effective early in fights.
Restart. Shakur is the kind of fighter that does not mind restarting. That was our thing, was once we start, we want to do the best we can to get away from another restart, because the restart allows you to reset, allows you that space, and stuff like.
When people say Shakur needs to show the dog, I laugh. Dogs get hit. And Shakur's career is built on not getting touched. We criticize movement, yet ignore that Teofimo has had dull nights too. Nobody finishes that thought. That's boxing. The wild card is real, though Teofimo can change everything with one moment.
The thing that I like about Shakur, though, is, we already know the statistical numbers in terms of how much he gets hit per round and even per fight, which is
low.
But the other side of that is offensively, he's very accurate.
Shakur wins by quietly erasing options round by round. The more fans beg him to fight differently, the more he leans into who he is. He's not chasing cheers, he's chasing minutes. If Teofimo can't force trades, that twitchiness becomes shadow boxing with consequences.
We don't like that he might throw 30, 40 punches around. He's usually on point when he throws. He don't miss. He finds his moments, and then he turns it on. The difference is when he turns it on is he's delivered that power to a point where we actually sit back and all right, round after round, like, all right, he's losing these.
When we argue skill versus excitement, we're really debating whether patience should be punished for being quiet. That's why this fight is dangerous both ways. Chaos needs permission, and Shakur trains to never give it. If order holds, we'll call it boring, while precision ages perfectly. If chaos lands, we'll act shocked even though we asked for it.
Listen, man, we're talking about a situation. We're talking about a situation where a fighter could be smart enough to just be right on point. What I mean by that is we could be in a situation where both these guys kind of coast.
Either way, someone's truth cracks, and that's what keeps me hooked. Eyes open, biases aside, waiting to see discipline tested under real fire, not Twitter chatter or nostalgia, but live consequences unfolding round by round.
Teo's finding moments to steal moments in every round and steal rounds and actually win on the scorecards simply because he did just a little bit more, simply because he was just a little bit more active.
Right after Porter broke down restarts and patience like a veteran living in those moments, Bernie Face slides in, flipping the angle calmly. His point people are missing what this fight is really about. Shakur isn't just hard to hit. He exists in that cursed range where you feel brave enough to try, but close enough to look foolish. I nod, because that's the Mayweather effect. He means not flash, just quiet frustration accumulating round by round.
No, well, Shakur has the ability to diffuse you. So I think he has the Mayweather effect where he can diffuse you. It's just on if he's going to take the more risk, to stamp his victory. You know what I mean? He gonna let his hands go in the times that he could using his speed. So that's just what I think it is with that. I think he know how to nullify what you're doing.
When Bernie notes that Teofimo hasn't looked dominant lately, it comes across less as criticism and more as a warning. You can't show up bored against a guy who turns boredom into control. He pointed out that Teofimo gets touched, loses sharpness, and takes damage, and that matters against Shakur Stevenson, a fighter who never rushes greatness. I like how Bernie framed it. This is Shakur's fight to define himself, not Teofimo's, a pressure disguised as opportunity.
Sometimes he leads in some fights. You know, he's not as capitalized as much as you think he could. You know, so I think that's gonna be it. You know, if we make him miss, make him pay 2 or 3. You know, not just one counter punch. You know, so I think that's the thing will be about it, and I'm sure that he will. You know, I'm sure that he will. Of course, he's gonna be a little cautious at first, but Teo ain't knocking nobody out.
You're not just facing the man in front of you, you're facing expectations, hype, superstardom, and your own patience. Bernie pointed out that Teofimo had the lane open after Lomachenko and let it drift, and that hit hard because boxing doesn't wait for anyone to feel ready. Then he hit the uncomfortable truth. If you can't hit Shakur, how are you supposed to hurt him? Suddenly, all the talk about power starts sounding theoretical. I laugh when Bernie questioned the mythic Teofimo power. Facts don't care about highlight reels. And lately the damage hasn't matched the reputation. Comparing Shakur to Mayweather's ability to neutralize opponents wasn't praise, it was a diagnosis. You can swing all night, but if nothing lands clean, confidence leaks. When Bernie said this fight decides whether Shakur crosses into superstardom, the weight hit winning clean is enough. It has to look undeniable. We're watching to see if control finally gets its flowers, or if chaos grabs the mic again.
Just, you know, so the kid, like, he in a good position, you know, and if he is able to win against Teofimo Lopez, he will be a lineal champion in 2 weights. And okay, Teo, he's done that. So if he beats Teo, he equals that accomplishment, and he beats him. So I would definitely say he's the best boxer.
Right after Bernie framed Shakur as a slow drip frustration machine, Jose Benavidez Sr. steps in, sounding like the veteran who's watched too many talented fighters get undone by their own habits. That's when the tone subtly shifts. Jose says straight up Shakur is insanely skilled, but maybe almost too responsible. I laugh. It's the politest way of saying, yeah, he'll win, but bring coffee. When he talked about Shakur not taking unnecessary risks, I hear respect mixed with challenge. Like he's saying, you know, you could do more, right? Then he references that one inside the pocket performance where Shakur made everyone blink twice. That ghost lingers over this fight. Every cautious move now feels like money left on the table. Jose isn't criticizing, he's diagnosing. Shakur chooses control over excitement deliberately, and you can't fault a man for protecting his future, even if fans are begging for fireworks on demand.
Insane, you know, he's good. He knows how to win fights. He doesn't risk as much, and I think he should because he's really good at it. But he just sometimes makes fights so boring. The only one that I like is the one that he fought. And look, spectacular. Yeah, inside. He stayed inside. He showed. I was like, what the fuck? You know? And all the other fights, I would just...
Then Jose pivots to Teofimo Lopez, and that's when it gets human. He calls Teofimo a showman, not in a clownish way, but in the sense that he does things you can't teach. That hit me because Teofimo's talent has always been loud. But Jose also slips in a quiet warning boxing punishes distraction, and Teofimo has been through enough to know it. That's not gossip, that's experience speaking. When he says a focused Teofimo is dangerous, it's not hype, it's conditional truth. Unfocused, he's just a question mark with gloves. I respect how Jose refuses to pick a side, calling it 50-50. It tells you this fight isn't about styles on paper, it's about who shows up whole. We're not watching skill clash. We're watching discipline wrestle temptation, and you already know which usually wins when the lights go on.
They have so much talent, and they just lose a little bit of focus, and boxing will make you pay for that, you know? So I'm just hoping that he's 100% back and focused, and man, when he's focused, that guy is dangerous, you know? So if he's focused, we're having a great fight. We're having a good fight. And you can't blink because both of these guys have power. So, or they can hurt each other.
Put all together the way Shakur built his camp to normalize chaos, Porter breaking down restarts, and suffocating danger, Bernie pointing out that cursed range where confidence dies, and Jose reminding us that discipline and focus shape careers. You realize this fight isn't about who's flashier or louder. It's about who survives being themselves. Teofimo thrives on moments of motion and ignition. Shakur thrives on minutes denial and quiet control. One needs a night to speed up, the other needs it to slow down. That's why every round feels like a test, not a highlight reel. One clean disruption can flip the story, but sustained order rewrites it completely. This isn't good versus evil or boring versus exciting. It's philosophy versus philosophy gloves on. And when the bell rings, someone's truth is exposed.
I'm just so happy that this fight got made, and I'm looking forward to see this fight.
Absolutely, man. It's nice to see these guys the best fight the best. Who do you favor in the fight?
I like I said, you know, both of them are so good, and like I said, whoever shows up that night is the one that's going to be more.
Drop your thoughts in the comments. Real debate, no dodging. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to BW Today.